Well, Ollie and I were just talking about horses. His favorite horse in the barn is who, Ollie? Tanzanite Tricks is Ollie's number one horse overall.
Very nice.
She's very nice. Should get her gender right if she's going to be your favorite horse. Tanzanite Tricks is Ollie's favorite horse. I'm going to give you guys my top 10 list overall. There were some changes, and there was some frustrations also. I kept it to 10 regardless today. I wasn't going past 10. So there were a lot of horses that were left off this list that I truly believe should be on the list, just not today. So top 10 list overall starts with Frilly Fringes. Frilly Fringes was not good yesterday. In fact, this was one of the first times she was ever so-so. But it had nothing to do with speed and everything to do with, she was just in a funk. She didn't warm up great. There's nothing wrong with her. She's perfectly sound. Trotting as good as I've ever seen her. Just kind of in a funk. So I put her on the trailer yesterday and I took her out to the field, out to the turnout farm 10 minutes away, let her eat some grass and play around for 5 days.
10 minutes? 2 minutes?
No, it was about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes away. Ollie and I dropped her off out in the grass to let her play yesterday. Hold on. Number 9, Northern Blizzard. This horse showed a lot of tenacity. I was telling Johnny when he was doing his top 10 list, Well and Down picked me off with Northern Blizzard, but Northern Blizzard put a step in. He just brushed his knee coming out of the last turn when I put him in gear. So the hobbles are tight. He's wearing flip-flops. I put him in gear. I could hear him scrub on his knee. When he did, he put a step in, got out of gear for a step. His next step is he's trying to push forward. Bang! He hits the bike. Hits the outside fork of the bike. Gets out of gear again and still trots forward. This horse showed a lot of tenacity to do that. If he had made a break right there, it wouldn't have bothered me a bit. I would have just chalked it up to change his shoeing, put a wider bike on him, no big deal. But he came right up trotting and did his work fantastic. Northern Blizzard.
Did he win?
No, I was second, but I was just getting to that. He was second to Well and Down as a pacer. And secondly, to show the tenacity he did. To show the tenacity that he showed yesterday was incredible. Northern Blizzard belongs at 9 or better, but today, he's going to be at 9. Number 8, Walk on the Moon. Finished third to 2 pacers. 2 good pacers yesterday. Walk on the Moon was very, very good. Mario still is of the belief he's the best Ontario-bred trotting colt in the barn, although I just mentioned Northern Blizzard. You want to pull his pants up because Blizzard's coming. Walk on the Moon looked very, very good yesterday and continues to look effortless and flawless in his work. That's what we want to see this time of year. You know, when you see a horse that always has that low-fee, quiet, easy-going kind of way, they're horses, 1, that are stress-free most of the time, and 2, they stay sound a lot of the time, too, because there's no added effort, right? It's always the same. And it's just a very fluid motion. Walk on the Moon looks very, very, very good heading into the summer of 2020. Number 7, 10, 9, 8. Number 7 is Braemar. I had to put Braemar on this list. I'm sorry, but before, when we didn't know how good Braemar was, he might be good, he might not be good, who knows? I'm pretty sure he's good now. For those of you who watched him, stop, Ollie. For those of you who watched him yesterday, he was incredible. Yeah, I run down a trotter, but I came from 4th. I had to come the last quarter in 28 and a piece with Braemar, a big, big horse over a half-mile track. That was as impressive as you're going to get. And Braemar looked some kind of good yesterday. Number 6, Aglaire AM. I think I put this filly further out. Now, she was 4th last week. We talked about that. But I put this filly on this list, and she stayed on it this week. I wanted to make sure she was on it for the simple reason, 1, I beat her with a pacer, and I had the jump on her. But 2, and so important, was that this filly tied up last week. And there's no possible way that she was 100% over it yesterday. She toughed it out, gritted through a training trip with pacers, and came charging down on the inside to be a closing second in a mile that was a good mile. She had to go a mile in 2:06 and 3, 2:06 and 4, last half in a minute and a bit, and a last quarter in 29 apiece. And Aglaire AM was nothing short of awesome yesterday. She belongs in this list. All of our Pennsylvania trotting fillies are on this list, and I hope they all have a great year. But Aglaire AM looked absolutely awesome yesterday. Number 5, Roy Hill. This is a horse that we had high hopes for, and then at times he looks so-so, right? He's never been the most consistent pacer we have, but anytime I've ever jumped up on him, it's been go time, and he's been real, real good. He was on point yesterday, and when I moved him, I really didn't think he was going to get there, but he was exceptionally good down the stretch. You can see him pull up a little bit going into the turn. I think that's a trait. I'm going to give him a pass and say he was just going so fast he had to kind of pull up a little bit and catch himself and slow down so he could push through that turn with a little more confidence. I won't say that he was being a bit of a coward pulling up afterwards, but he certainly wasn't pulling up at the wire. He dug in deep to reach up and get to the win, as far as he knew. Training yesterday, and was fantastic. Roy Hill was very good. Number 4, he fell to number 4. I'm going to tell you why, and I think it's only fair. Beef and Cheddar. It's a horse that was number 1 overall last week. Numbers 1 through 5 are pretty fluid, and Beef and Cheddar fell to 4 because the 3 ahead of him earned it yesterday, right? Beef and Cheddar was 3rd, closing fast into a hot pace. Did his work exceptionally well. Finished up strong. Threw the turn afterwards strong. James loves this horse, and he thinks he's the best pacer we have. I believe he could be, but we'll talk about another horse further up the list that I believe is. Number 3, Eternity Road. He's been hanging around 1 through 3 his whole life. Was he spectacular yesterday? No, he wasn't spectacular, but he was good. And as I said, little rolly at times, didn't make a break. James said never offered to. Little over on the right shaft, a little more than he'd like. Looks to me, there was marks on his boots. Looks like he was hitting himself. That's fine. We can tinker with the shoeing. We can do a number of things to fix that. But I am going to have him to the vet again on Tuesday to make sure there was nothing missed the last time we were there. So, Eternity Road was good yesterday. It stays in the top 3 and comes in at number 3. Number 2 is a horse that I believe could be the best pacer we have, and it is a razor-thin contest. Blue Monk. The only reason I say Blue Monk is, 1, he corners better than Beef and Cheddar, which makes him effective on a smaller track. Well, we're going to race most of our big races on a big track, aren't we? Also, doesn't wear any boots. He's sensible. He's smart. Beef and Cheddar, like his sister, is overpowering, right? He, like his sister, need your opinion, they're bullies. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with everybody. Listen, there's nothing wrong with being a bully when you're in a race. And Blue Monk, I just think smart. Just a smarter, intelligent horse than any horse we have on the property. You combine that with his overall athleticism. Yeah, he's not a better than Cheddar, who's probably bodes a lot better than Blue Monk's daddy, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with that. So Blue Monk, I believe, comes in at number 2. You guys know who number 1 is. The Queen is back. Won My Heart Hanover, was awesome again yesterday. As I've always said, she's good hunting, she's good following, she's good attacking. Her only softest part of training would be on the front end, right? We put that open bridle on her months ago, and she was a good. She only went a mile in 2:18 last week. She'd been faster, but she went a mile in 2:18. I didn't know how she'd be. Quarter moved her to the front, sat in. Mama Knows Best is good right now. She's trotting really good. Mario put her in gear getting into the last turn. As soon as she saw her coming, it was game on. And she trotted as hard as she could to the wire, never let up. Just so impressed with this filly. Just such an impressive filly overall. Won My Heart Hanover. Has been way over where we expect her to. I expect her to be a nice filly. When we bought her, a handy filly, just a nice filly to be around. She's turned that into being an exceptional trainer. What that will translate to on the racetrack, I don't know yet. I'm not sure. But I know that she has got a lot to offer, and she's happy to offer it up. So I couldn't be happier. And I say it again and again. I know that I'm biased when it comes to this filly. I picked her out. She was in the last day. She's sunk into my heart where it was one of one of the underdogs, the underdog story, right? Last day at Harrisburg, or one of the later days at Harrisburg. So up in the 800s, I think, when we bought her in the sale catalog. Just, it's like the, getting that quarterback or that all-star player in the 4th round of the draft, right? And just, you can't help but cheer for her. I know I do every week. I love going with her. She's a treat to drive. She's a treat to be around. Just a really, really nice horse. So, Won My Heart Hanover belongs at number 1, and no one is going to make an argument. Why? Yes, Blue Monk is fast. Yes, I love Blue Monk to death, but he hasn't been on this list as long as One My Heart Hanover, and she looked every bit as good as anybody around yesterday. So it's pretty clear she is number one right now. There's no argument in my mind there. So recapping that list, Frilly Fringes comes in at number 10, Northern Blizzard number 9, Walk on the Moon number 8, Bramer number 7, Iglariam number 6, Roy Hill number 5, Beef and Cheddar number 4, Eternity Road 3, Blue Monk, old monkey, comes in at 2, and number 1's my girl, One My Heart Hanover. So now you have Johnny's top 10 list, my top 10 list from yesterday, both of them. Top 10 list overall. We had the opening. I'm going to come back in a minute. We're going to talk about every 2-year-old, every 3-year-old, and all the stables. I'll be back in just a minute.